Hey guys, it's Chris here, back with the Chewy HI12. Now you might have seen the videos on the other model I had, which was just the single OS version that only has Windows 10 Home on it. And it's actually one of my favorite tablets. Well, this here now, a little bit late I know, is the dual boot version. So it ships from the factory and it now comes with Android 5.1 on there and also Windows 10. Now I'm not going to cover everything in this unboxing because I've already covered the physical aspects of this tablet, like the size and the weight and the other Windows videos, so have a look at the playlist for those. But what I am going to cover is the Android side of things very quickly, and also boot into Windows just to see how much free space we have. Now this model, if you don't know or haven't seen it before, has a rather nice screen in it. It has a 3:2 ratio screen in there that has a resolution of 2160 by 1440p. That is actually the same screen used in the Microsoft Surface Pro from a couple of years ago, the Surface 3 Pro I should say, and it's a very nice screen. So here's the tablet. You can see it looks identical to the Windows version. There are absolutely no changes whatsoever there. Hopefully there is some battery in this one here. Now there is a hardware change on this. It has a different screen digitizer, one now that supports not only touch but also stylus supports. So here's the dual boot menu. We can select either Windows or Android there. I'm just going to go into, you have to use the power button, to Windows first and have a look at the free storage we have left on there. Now it is a 64-bit eMMC that's going to be split between the two operating systems, and normally what the manufacturers do is give most of that to Windows, because Windows does take up a lot of room normally. So let's have a look and see what we have. It comes to free available storage. So we have 27.8 gigabytes free, which is a lot less than the single Windows 10 version, which comes with approximately, I think it was about 44 or 47 or something gigabytes. So a lot less there. Now this one does have stylus support. I'm going to check and see. I've got an active stylus with me because at the time of this video, the Chewy, official Chewy, the Hi Pen, they call it, isn't actually out. It's going to be coming out sometime this month, but don't have my hands on that just yet. But I'm going to check out what the styluses I do have and see if they work. Now the styluses I do have is one that I think is maybe perhaps the same one that Chewy's going to use, and this is the TechLast. It's an active stylus, but it supports the Goodix, or at least it should, and that actually doesn't seem like, no, this is not going to work, it seems, at all on this model. And another one is another active stylus, is a Dell type. This is another Dell pen, one that I've got, and also that is not going to work. So it does look like I'm going to have to wait until I have the official stylus before I can test that out. Now if I go under system here, it should say pen and touch support with 10 touch points, which it does right there. If hopefully you can see that. And that means, yes, that this does have indeed hardware support for the stylus there. Unfortunately, I'm not able to demonstrate that just yet until they release the official Chewy stylus. It must have a slightly different chip in it, I think, to the other brands that use this type of pen, at least. So, that's all I'm going to cover in this video, and probably the only time I'm going to cover Windows on the dual boot model, because I've already covered it all in thorough detail if you have a look on the playlist. So I'm going to switch over now to Android. This is how we do it. Just run the application from within Windows. And right now we're going to boot over. Now the hardware side of things, I don't think the gap between the digitizer glass panel and the IPS below has increased. It looks to be identical to me. I was a little worried it might actually be a little bit bigger, in case the stylus support was going to be adding another layer to the screen itself, but it looks like it isn't. Right, so the ROM is now loading, and right here I have my Windows 10 only version of the Chewy HI12, and just looking at the screens, everything to me looks the same there. And in terms of panel light bleed, there were a few people that mentioned that they had more light bleed on this particular version. I can't really tell at this point. To me, it looks to be exactly the same. I'm thinking it's going to be identical, and it really just depends on each panel. But in terms of the hardware build on this one, like the other model I have, it seems exactly the same. And I find the build to be reasonably good. I mean, it isn't perfect. It's definitely not up to Microsoft Surface Pro 3 or 4 quality, but I find it to be quite alright. Let's have a look there. So, back to the ROM here. We can see that it's a very stock Android ROM, which is exactly what I like to see. And there we go. There's no bloat on there whatsoever. We've got file manager, camera, I'd say all pretty much essential apps there, browser, and of course Play Store, which we want and need installed, and zero bloat. Very good to see. So free available space to us in Android is 9.4 gigabytes. That's the same amount of space that's available on the Chewy HiBook, which I have just unboxed. If you haven't seen that video, that's a 10.1 inch 2-in-1 tablet, and so far so good. So this is just the first unboxing and hands-on video with this dual boot version. I will be back and I will cover lots of things, but only in Android. So I'm going to do all my benchmarks, run 3D Mark and Tutu, and also test out some popular Android games to see how well they run on this 2160 by 1440p screen. Hopefully they're not going to lag too much. We'll test out demanding titles as well, like Real Racing 3 and Mortal Kombat X. Hopefully they will perform okay with playable frame rates. So do check back in the playlist for those if you are interested in seeing more on the Android side on this tablet. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you soon.